Hello.
Hello.
Guess what we watched?
We watched a film called Snake and Crane, Arts of Shaolin. I don't know what they like. It's like punching.
This film was dubbed. I could never make that look good. I used to have a friend who could do that really well, like make it look like he was ADRing himself.
No, I just gotta be lucky and time it right.
Yeah, I tried to do it, but it... So we finally figured out that, Patron, you did want a backseat critique.
Yes,
so
well, we figured that out because he contacted me.
Oh.
So, you know, that was the most clever way of doing it, really.
Yes. And I even made Chinese food. Okay, no, I found a recipe for, like, slow cooker cashew chicken, and it was okay, really. I mean...
We have Light Dog.
Yeah. But yeah, so this certainly was a movie in which people leapt at each other a lot. The Foley artist was very busy.
Yes. This is, the DVD claims that it is the ultimate Jackey Chan film because he does so many different kinds of martial arts thing.
Ultimate!
He does seem to do a lot of variety in his martial arts. You know, I can't really testify that it's the ultimate Jackey Chan film, though. I'm not
Leaping and thwacking and...
I'm not a massive Jackey Chan fan, which, you know, some people are very annoyed by, but I'll just say... When it comes to martial arts films, either if I like a general actor, there's only a couple that I like, you know, like consistently. Bruce Lee, Tony Jaa, even what do you call him? Stephen Chow, but only up to Shaolin Soccer. I mean, after Shaolin Soccer, I did not fucking like Kung Fu Hustle.
Totally jumped the shark. Like.
Well, I didn't like Kung Fu Hustle, and the Alien one looked like shit, and I haven't seen any since. But up to that, you know,
I saw Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle.
You know, Chinese Odyssey, The Magnificent Scoundrels, Forbidden City Cop, The God of Cookery is my favourite, Stephen Chow. So, you know, it's just, Jackey Chan I can never get into. If Kung Fu movies are going to be silly, I'd rather them be incredibly silly, a la Stephen Chow, or The Dragon Lives Again, or be incredibly cheap, like The Dragon Lives Again and the clones of Bruce Lee and stuff.
I had an idea, while we were watching this, that someone should do a tongue-in-cheek, like, Shaolin Soccer kind of thing, and set in Ireland, like an historical period, and you could call it Enter the Pub. It'd be great. It'd be really awesome.
That reminded me that Fatal Deviation exists, the Irish Kung Fu movie.
Yeah, but you said that was, like, serious, though.
It was an attempt at serious. It's bad, though. It's sort of like, imagine Battle of the Bone made in, like, rural Kerry, without zombies, instead of it's got Kung Fu.
I've only driven through Kerry. That one time we went to Dundalk, that's why. Okay, twice, because we went there and back. Well, no, there was a psychology conference, and a whole bunch of us got it.
That's an odd noise.
I don't even know what that noise is.
I think that's a washing machine on another floor, because we live in flats.
Yeah, no, we just suddenly heard this, like, wee mini jackhammer noise. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, but... Yeah, because the floor is shaking. But I'm sure everything's fine, so it is.
Yeah. Okay,
so yes, what happened in The Snake and the Crane?
Well, the first 7 or 8 minutes was a guy doing martial arts in a big red room. So, you know, I was like, very nice and to reuse a set from Hadarowski's The Holy Mountain. And even better them to reuse the fucking theme music from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You know, the serious bit before it goes all silly. And they come, you know, and it goes to sort of Mexican sounding. Now, this isn't a case of them lifting it from Holy Grail. This is a case of Holy Grail and this film lifting it from the same place, because Holy Grail, it had a soundtrack completely written, and it sounded with authentic medieval instruments. Neil Innes did it. Apparently, it was structurally very, very good, but it didn't work very well with the comedy because it sounded like a folk thing because it was accurately medieval. So almost the last minute, Terry Jones had to go to a film library and get a bunch of music from this film library. And that's why it's got this sort of cod epic sound, which fits the tone of the film much better. And so obviously this film went to the same library and got...
Because she was like, stop! What? Listen to that.
Dun,
oh, right.
It wasn't the dun 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 dun.
Because that's what I was thinking of, though.
That was using other things. This is the very, very start when they got the Swedish subtitles on the credits to the film.
Mind you, moose bites can be pretty nasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the plot of this, where there were these Shaolin masters, right?
Yeah, there's 8 of them.
And they all vanished after basically, like, writing up the new constitution of Shaolin. And like,
And you were all like, what is the historical validity of this? And I was like, I know some stuff about Kung Fu, but I can't confirm all of it.
aye. And so then you cut to Jackey Chan coming to town, and he lets it be known that he has the secret book. And then what follows is about, what, an hour? An hour or so? Of various people from various clans being like, give me the book. No, I'm not going to give you the book. I will beat you up and kill you and take the book. Alright, do it then. And then not doing that.
Yeah, and Jackey Chan is basically playing a troll, you know, a
He
Jackie
really is.
4-chan.
He was like, you are a very beautiful woman, but you would be even prettier if you learned how to smile. And I'm like, did he just even?
Yeah.
And then, like, the princess servant is like, I was like, don't worry, my lady, I will post it on social media. They will all know when we shall dox him.
And then you've got one of the women, the daughter of the boss of the Flying Tiger clans, dressed up as like this urchin boy thing. And so whenever she first appears as a woman in the thing, even though she's clearly played by a woman, Jackey Chan like pretends to think that he's actually a guy in drag and stuff, and continues to be misogynistic and insult women, just too directly insult her while pretending that he's not. It's like, that's a bit trollish, Jackey Chan.
And
you're usually very friendly.
He becomes the sworn brother of this one guy
who's like Roger Ward.
Well, he looks like Roger Ward, but like he's brought into it by like the head of the beggar clan, who's like, oh yes, this guy is very sturdy, but he has the mind of a child. And so basically he's just like a foul-mouthed, like, 9-year-old in the body of like Hulk Hogan. And so it's really, really bad when you see him getting this knot beat out of him, because you're like, oh no, they're beating up that poor special needs person.
Yeah. I'm not even sure, like, looking at the guy, he definitely looks a little bit more Caucasian than most actors. I don't think he's white, I think he's probably mixed race or something, like at some degree. It really does help sell the fact that he looks like Roger Ward, because he's larger than the other ones, he's got a big mustache, he's bald, it's just like, Stroth, White, Roger Ward went to Hong Kong!
Well, he wasn't the man from Hong Kong.
Yes, he was.
It ain't 98 days of Peking.
That's what I was doing over there.
Don't give me any shit. That's only funny if you've... What was it, your first season or your second season?
Second season opener, Man from Hong Kong.
It's one of my favorite ones. I actually bought that on iTunes for 99p, that song, just because it reminded me of you. I did. It'll come up now, because it's on my iPod still. It'll come up now and again. And it's like, yeah, 70s.
This reminds me, I really need to review another Brian Trenchard Smith. Originally, I was hoping to do a Brian Trenchard Smith every season. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why I did Turkey shit, and then I did Man from Hong Kong.
I got you Death Chasers on DVD. That was the first birthday present I got you.
Yep. I've got Death Chasers, I've got Stunt Rock, I've got Death Row, what do you call it? Dead End Drive-In. These are all in my to-review. Trenchard Smith, he also did...
She doesn't even have a to-review pile anymore, she has a to-review room. I mean, I ain't saying, I'm just saying, obviously.
It's quite big.
We have so many DVDs in this flat, and that's like what? Like not even an eighth of your overall collection?
You need a big film collection, it's necessary. But, yeah, this one seemed to be a little bit light on the martial arts comedy, so it was more like a martial arts drama with bits of comedy, which, not an expert in Jackey Chan, doesn't seem to be quite his usual style. Usually seems to be a bit more flamboyant than he is in this.
Yeah, but he was really young then, so he was probably coming into his
yeah, this does seem to be early Jackey Chan, although it's obviously impossible to tell from the print because it's really shit quality, so it may well have been made from anywhere from the late 70s to like 1990.
Should it say on the back one?
But I'm guessing early 80s, late 70s.
Well, the DVD's 2001.
Like, I know that Jackey Chan was...
Brought to you by easternheroes.co.uk.
But I know Jackey Chan was one of the... He had a bit part in one of the Bruce Lee films. I think it was Enter the Dragon. So... if it's only a few years after that, because Enter the Dragon is, right before Bruce Lee dies. So, this must be one of his first leading roles. So his signature style hasn't quite evolved yet. And, or the other possibility is this is a documentary, and the film is so shaky because they haven't invented tripods yet.
1978, according to the internet.
Oh, very early then.
It's really great because his name is Sue. And I got to say, well, honey, life ain't easy for a boy named Sue. It's such an old person joke. Only, Nash will get it. I don't think he watches your Backseat critiques.
I get it. I just was like...
Yeah, because, you're, my age-ish. Only a bit younger than me. Once upon a time, there was a song, Google it, called Boy Called Sue. Or Boy Named Sue.
By Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got very briefly into Johnny Cash after the Hurt cover. Everyone
A
did
lot
that.
of people did, yeah. I remember a whole bunch of us went to Jocelyn's in Media, which was a bar in Media. And it was really weird because there was a guy who did just Johnny Cash covers. That's all he did. And he opened for a band called H.P. Lovecraft. And there is not H.P. Lovecraft, P.T. Lovecraft, that's it. I knew it was like someone's two famous people with their first initials and last name. I cannot find any evidence on the internet that this cover band they weren't even a cover band, they were just this weird band. And they had a song called Bag Full of Cocks. And the chorus was, you've been struck by a bag full of cocks. And then there was a song called Alarm Cock. It was very
You can see the theming.
genitalia centric. But we all were like, oh man, Johnny Cash is so awesome. But I didn't really think so. I just kind of liked Hurt.
I'm still sad.
Ring of Fire's art too.
I'm still sad that Johnny Cash died before he could do some sort of a, sad, really, really sort of powerful sounding cover version of War. What is it good for?
Yeah,
Just imagine how awesome that would have been.
Because they probably have real Vietnam vets in the video and everything
Yeah, it's like
living their trauma.
after I heard Hurt, I was like, you need to do a cover version of War. You need to. That would be so good.
And the video was so sad, like him reflecting on his life, and his wife died a few months later.
Yeah, she
and
died.
then he died a wee bit after that. But anyway, so Snake and Crane. So the good thing about this movie was there was a lot of extended kung fu scenes that were really good for checking Twitter and not missing any of the plot.
And the obviously I don't know enough about kung fu stuff, but does anyone know why some martial arts masters in films and I'm guessing in real life in the past you have the what looks like scarification dots on their head?
Because one of the characters I remember from the small amount of Dragon Ball Z that I watched in the 90s, I remember there was one character who was a monk who had that.
Yeah.
And I think it might be a Buddhist thing.
I mean, I'm guessing it's not painted on because that would be a bitch to do every day, and I'm guessing it's not a tattoo because maybe it might be.
No, because Indian folks they do that. It's a Hindu thing. They'll paint that on every day.
Yeah, but 8 ones on the top of the head.
That's how you know how you're devout.
Yeah, I just think it would be more likely if it was something permanent.
I'll Google it.
I mean, plus it seemed like the guy in the film anyway. He had a very little amount of hair, starting to grow, and but it was a different color. So I'm like, what's going on there? But anyway, the film was decent.
Shaolin forehead dots. It comes right up.
Yeah.
You may have also noticed that Shaolin monks inscribe 9 dots on their foreheads. This is the jiba, and these dots indicate that a monk has finished his training. Each of the 9 dots represents a tenet in the Shaolin discipline, and each monk undergoes a long ritual before earning the jiba on his head. So they do paint it on. Haha.
Okay.
Because there's the Dragon Ball Z character that has it on his forehead.
Dots etched onto their forehead. So maybe some of them paint, maybe some of them do scarification. Regardless,
I think it
was a decent film. The basic plot of guy has thing, and all these different criminal gangs all want the thing, and they all attack him over and over again. It reminds me a little bit of Yojimbo, not in the case of the plot being identical, there's little similarities, but in the way that
he was my favorite historical character from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Either in the way that Yojimbo was constantly remade and put into different areas, turned into a western, whatever. It's a sort of plot that can be reworked for most time periods. And with this one, this is the same sort of basic plot that can be worked a hell of a lot. You could do a lot of crime movies with this basic plot, but just replace the Book of Shaolin stuff with a huge pile of money or a diamond or something.
There's got to be a lot of spy movies like that. Where you're you have the secret information. You fool! Do you think I would carry it on me?
Yeah, it seems to be one of the classic sort of plots, but this one doesn't seem to be as common as other classic plots.
Well, there's a certain amount of universality to stuff like that. It's like Romeo and Juliet. Pretty much every society, or every culture has their version of the star-crossed lovers.
Yeah,
that's just one of those universal human themes.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it can't be oh haha and make fun of it, because it's not one of those so bad it's good kind of things, because it's very typical martial arts movie from the 70s.
Yeah.
And it's Jackey Chan, and he's always entertaining. But then you can't be like, oh, this was... It moved me. It moved me to move and take up martial arts. I wanted to when I was little. I asked my mom if I could go to karate class. Because if you... I mean, like, I grew up in, like, you know, the mid-80s to the mid-90s. You know, I was a teen in the late 90s. So, you know, that was a really big thing in the suburbs. Like, every strip mall had, like, a dojo. You know, little kids going, ha, 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 and getting various colored belts that mean absolutely nothing. And my mom was like, no, because I think that if you did that, you'd just beat people up. Which was exactly what I would have done. But, you know.
So you've been a villain in the Kung Fu movie?
No, because I was too short. I've always been very, very short. And, like, I wasn't pudgy yet. I didn't become pudgy until high school. So, like, I wouldn't even be, like, one of those ones that could, like, sumo my weight around. So I just would be like, yeah, and I just would have been punched in the face is what would have happened. Yeah, that's probably for the best. I never do it.
I was gonna mention something that very clever, which I can't remember. Oh yes, now I remember. Just thinking about, you know, famous martial artists, and definitely putting myself behind Masayama as my favorite martial artist of thing because of the achievements he did, and you know, in I believe he killed either I think it was 9 bulls in single combat without weapons.
In real life?
Yes.
Or in a movie?
Real life. He
Why?
It was to prove how awesome he was at martial arts.
Did they, like, do something with the meat?
Well, probably.
Okay, good.
Well, he did karate, so.
Well, no,
You know, karate has. I believe karate has less lifestyle rules than kung fu was meant to have.
Yeah, but I feel like, you know, like, he slaughtered a bull with his bare hands. Well, that's kind of inhumane, though, isn't it?
It is, but it also proves how, you know, that he was really good at punching stuff. That was Masayama's thing.
No, he was really good at punching cows.
He also, I believe...
What's your specialty? Oh, yes, I punch cows.
He was also...
you know what? When we fight the Minotaur Slick, we'll invite you.
He was also infamously good at this sort of competition where he
Punching pigs?
No.
Come here, babe.
It was basically winner stays on.
That is some pig.
He would take winner stays on, and I believe he kept going for like 3 days.
Wait, is not the story of your man? And it was based on a real story. It was when Britain was occupying part of China, and basically he just whooped everybody. He whooped everybody they threw at him. They, like, you know, imported, like, big Irish and Scots guys to, like, come and try to kill him, like, in the ring.
I am
and
unfamiliar with that story.
They made a movie out of it.
Oh, okay.
But it was based on a true story of this guy, and he finally only lost because they poisoned him.
I'm unfamiliar
This is a real
completely with
thing.
that one, but there was this sounds similar deal with Masayama, but he was taking on sort of other karate guys, and he was Korean and moved to Japan. But I only bring him up because I just had this thought. Did Masayama make martial arts films? Because if he did, I'd love to see them. Because he seems to be in a brick shithouse of the highest order.
He was a modern guy.
He died of old age, I believe, in the 70s.
Oh, okay. I thought this was, like, in the before times. So he was punching cows in a time where he could have got done for animal cruelty.
Well, he was, like, one of the top karate guys in Japan in the pre-World War II era. I don't think they would give him any shit.
Hey, don't give me any shit. Just go watch it. Just pause this, right-click, you know, like, open a new tab and just go watch them. Just review, just do it.
Anyway, yeah, this was absolutely fine. The martial arts were often spectacular. I mean, like...
I couldn't do shit like that.
You know, yeah, it was just...
We would die so quickly.
The only problem, I suppose, is that I was expecting more comedy in the martial arts from Jackey Chan. It was a bit more serious.
A lot of the comedy was in the voice acting and in the Foley, really.
Yeah, and you know, in some of the scripting, yeah, it's the sort of film that I could see Bruce Lee starring in. To be completely fair, rather than Jackey Chan. But then again, Jackey Chan hadn't evolved his signature style yet.
Reminded me, like, you know, of the times when, you know, we would all go down to take the train into Philly and go to South Street, and my friend knew this, you know, really great bootleg knockoff DVD place. You could get, like, you know, 5 Chinese imports for $1. So we would get, like, these kung fu movies with these incredibly silly translated titles, like...
Backstroke of the West.
Like, you know, Flag of the Dragon Wonton and shit like that. That's not a real one, by the way. And then we would go over to, like, various friends' houses and go smoke in the backyard because everyone lived with their parents then, but there were certain parents that really didn't care what you all got up to as long as you weren't, out driving drunk or something. And then we just sit and watch it. And it was so bad because the aspect ratio was all off, so they were like super wide. So you'd only ever see like part of people's faces, and they were like, what? I don't know. No, I'm sorry.
The aspect ratio sounds like my early reviews, because they were very much like that with mad aspect ratios, because I didn't give a fuck.
Those were the days. Nothing to do in the summer.
We used to have an Asian supermarket in Derry, over in the waterside, and I got a couple of Chinese movies over there. We
still do have an Asian grocery, but it's run by, I think, an Indian family, and they just sell groceries. Although I did go there today and buy rice cooking line, and those little Indian rice snacks. They're really good, and I almost bought a daikon radish because I had some, but I don't know what so you can't get daikon or like Japanese or Korean radish anywhere in the asshole of Northern Ireland, go figure. But this one shop near us occasionally will have them in, but I only buy them if I'm about to pickle the radishes, and but I don't have any room in the refrigerator right now.
You're right, the lights died.
I told you, we just need to pull my batteries more.
I hope you all had a moment's silence for the lights.
I hope this is all you dreamed of and more, Paige. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry it took a while.
Had a major night out last night, so I'm kind of hanging today.
I'm like
Kung Fu's grandeur.
I'm sorry it took a while. I do have a lot of things, and trying to line up time when I'm available. Well, I'm always available. I can just do it anytime, but because basically
always available.
Basically,
that's deal on the Hagen for you.
Omega deals with time in a more traditional manner, in that she does things by
linearly?
Day. And no, you sort of arrange stuff what you have to do on each particular day.
Well, yeah, because I have a schedule.
And I'm like, as long as I get some videos done by the end of the month, so I sort of think of in the long term, so I can do it anytime.
It's good to know what you're doing in the week. Like tomorrow, I'm going to Coleraine. I'm chairing a symposium tomorrow. Translation. I'm timing students to make sure. My point is that I'm
getting
paid for it though.
The point is that I can always move things around very easily to do stuff at any time. However, you have much less free time. That's much less malleable free time than I do, and that's why it takes.
Also, she forgets what she owes people, and periodically will say, "Patrons, if I owe you something, tell me."
I have a terrible memory, and I should.
I owe one patron something, and it's a review of a character. But the problem is that there's a lot of seasons of the show that I have to watch. And I'm thinking of a way to do it in a way that's not going to take an entire month. But I feel really bad because it's been a year. I'm sorry, Nate. I'm going to get to it, I promise.
Well, this is why, patrons, I encourage you to remind me about stuff that you've done.
Don't assume that she remembers.
Yeah. It's never a bother. I want to make sure I do your stuff. I know it takes ages, but it takes me a long fucking time to make a movie review. Like how long does it take me?
Well, I mean, because you're working on so many at a time. Like she'll be doing the voiceovers for something, and I'll overhear because I'm sitting, playing Dragon Age or watching TV, and I'm like, wow, we watched that for notes. What, like 2 years ago?
Like give you an example. Right now, I'm working on Meet the Feebles as an extra view. After that, we got Roar. We got the next 20 Who has been recorded and it hasn't been cut up yet. The next Smeghead's Guide to Red Dwarf has been recorded and cut up and audio edited. I got the first of my terror episode by episode reviews is ready for visual editing, which is right. I'm gonna add the clips and stuff. Also, I got 2 episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which are almost finished editing. So that's 7 videos I'm working on at this very moment, and then Tuesday I'm probably going to start recording another episode of Hagen. That's going to be Surf Nazis Must Die, and I've already got recorded another episode, Mercury Man, and I got another episode of JoJo recorded. So it gives you an idea of I'm trying to juggle a bunch of things at once. I'm just working on a meta-analysis of 76 papers that all came from the same data set. Regarding psychosis, so it's not as exciting, but if it gets published, it'll be great. Anyway, give you an idea of the sillier martial arts that I prefer. This is going to be one of the movies that I review next season whenever I finally get around to writing the full season, because it's all planned out and I got notes for most of them. Wow. Yeah, we watched that for notes. Yep, the Crippled Masters. It's ridiculous. This guy has no legs, this guy has no arms. They must turn themselves into a Kung Fu powered biomech and kill that bastard there. Exploitation at its finest. Because they are actually disabled individuals. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. But
We hope it's all that you dreamed of and more, patron. We hope you were just like, yes, I need a cigarette. That was so good watching two people only about occasionally talk about the movie they watched and digress.
Yeah. I'm sorry, there's just, it wasn't shit, so we can't, like, laugh at absolutely everything. It wasn't so good that we have to rave about it. It's the sort of thing I could do a review of, but I don't think it's A-list material for that sort of thing. I mean, the film, if you're a Chan fan, haha, that rhymes. If you're a Chan fan, I'm
he's
pretty sure
young.
it's
just
decent.
surprising how young he is. Well, the last thing we saw Jackey Chan in was The Foreigner, which is really great. Which could have just been like Jackey Chan punches the IRA a lot.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
That one.
It's on. Well, okay, it's on UK Netflix. I don't know if it's on American Netflix, but it's really good.
That one I was very enthusiastic about, just because the novelty of seeing Jackey Chan punch the Troubles in the face. That was hilarious.
And what's his face? Pierce Brosnan played basically Jerry Adams, and it was
Bolton was in it too.
And it was so transparent, the fact that he was obviously playing Jerry Adams, that Jerry Adams tweeted after the trailer was released, "My, Pierce Brosnan is looking very handsome these days." I'm just like, it's fantastic. Jerry Adams, I mean. I get confused because I have a professor named Adamson, so I get confused all the time. But no, Jerry Adams is great because his Twitter apparently is mental, and a lot of people have the theory that it's just so crazy on purpose, just to fuck with like all the British intelligence agencies that are like watching him for clues of terrorism.
That's my theory.
He tweets about there's actually a book called "Shit Jerry Tweets." He carried at my book, and it's just basically a book of his tweets. Published by O'Brien, the Irish humorous publisher.
Anyway, I hope that was entertaining and fascinating and whatnot. The screen right now is just saying the end.
That's why we pause it, just like in Blue Village.
The film.
The end.
Yeah, the villain guy. He's like fighting.
No.
It's gonna be one-on-one fight with the villain, but then the villain sort of in the middle of this duel is surrounded by all the kung fu sort of like nobility
all of
or
the
whatever.
clans and everything. Because apparently everyone in this township is in a different clan.
He hires the three Storms from Big Trouble in Little China to take his place in the middle of the duel, and I'm like, dude. You were winning the fight. You are clearly, meant to be a real badass, and Jackie Chan's meant to be outclassed by you until Jackie Chan wins because he's, heroic and good-hearted and stuff. Why did you do that? Because that's an act of desperation, which was not warranted because you were not on the verge of defeat. Because it's an act of desperation because you have just been revealed to be dishonest and terrible in front of all the other kung fu guys.
Yeah, and then he kills him. Jackie Chan does. And then everyone's like, oh! And there's blah, at the end, and we're like, right, well...
Yeah, some genres of film don't really have an ending so much as they stop.
And then everyone went home. The end. Well, that's like in Dragon Quest 11. A lot of times when, you've been through a cinematic or you've just beaten a boss or something like that, and they're like, and they spent the night partying, but then the next day came, and then you're just in the inn. That happens a lot, but and then they all went home, but then the next day happened, and you're like, oh, well, there you go.
But Snake and Crane would make an absolutely amazing, porn Frasier parody. Would it not? Especially the Snake and Crane, the arts of Shaolin, so it would be an Asian-themed porn, Frasier porn parody.
Only if Kelsey Grammer does the ADR.
Oh, so good. Creature, please make a cover for that.
Do it.
You find the image from the cover and make it Kelsey Grammer and make it look like a porno. That would be so good.
No. But anyway. Yeah, I feel bad because a lot of times when or the last one we did All Night Long, where it's oh, it was kind of good. Yeah. You can't be like, oh, it sucked, and let me tell you what.
Decently good films give us less to talk about. That's why we do tangents. Although I will notice this film was actually so early that Jackie Chan hadn't evolved the spelling of his name, because the cover has Jackie spelled the normal way. However, the film had Jackey instead of IE. Well, that's a huge deal. That's like noticing for the first time that Alexander Siddig's name was Siddig El Fadil in the first 3 seasons of Deep Space Nine.
Didn't know.
Well, it's because
I don't watch the credits of things after the episode's over. I just go on with my life.
It's because his first name, his actual Alexander Siddig's real name, Siddig, it starts with Siddig, is like 20 words long.
Yeah, you told me that. He's like a complete badass.
And his word, let me see, and I believe several words repeat in it more than once. So it's really long. That's why he likes to go by Sid in real life.
He should play the Doctor at some point.
He should. He'd be great.
But so that's been us. That's been Snake and Crane, Arts of Shaolin. I'm gonna go now, discipline myself, and carry Wooder upstairs because that always happens in these movies. Stop it! Aha! I beat you with my DVD. Hey! Stop it! No! My Dorney Park Hat Kung Fu is stronger than yours.